The house at 14 Prestige Lane was a dream painted in clapboard and shingle. It was the kind of house that promised better mornings. Sunlight would filter through the mature oak in the front yard. The porch would be perfect for evening drinks. The schools were exemplary. The crime rate was statistically zero. For David and Elena Miller, fleeing the grating chaos of the city and its attendant anxieties, it was salvation. For their 2 children, Sam and Lily, it was an adventure of green lawns and new friends. The moving truck pulled away on a Saturday afternoon. The air smelled of cut grass and freshly turned earth. It was a clean smell. As they stood amidst their boxes in the empty living room, the silence felt not empty, but expectant. The welcome began almost immediately. A peach pie, still warm, appeared on their doorstep with a card signed "The Neighbors." Then came the Joneses from number 12 with a bottle of wine and meticulously detailed recommendations for plumbers and pediatricians. The Garcias from across the street brought over toys their kids had outgrown, all in pristine condition. Everyone was polite. Everyone was helpful. Their smiles were wide, their handshakes firm. But there was a uniformity to it. A rehearsed quality. They all used similar phrases. "You'll love it here. It's so peaceful. We look out for each other." David, a journalist by trade, found it charming at first. Elena, more intuitive, felt a tiny knot form in her stomach. It was their eyes. When they said "peaceful," their eyes didn't crinkle with the memory of earned tranquility. They were flat. Serene in a way that felt inorganic. The first oddity surfaced during a conversation with Mr. Henderson, a retired man who lived at number 10. He was helping David assemble a tricky bookshelf. "So how long have you all lived here?" David asked, making conversation. "Oh, a good while now," Mr. Henderson said, not looking up from the instruction manual. "Must have seen the neighborhood change, huh?" "Not really. It's always been like this." "Perfect." He said the word with finality. "No drama? No noisy neighbors before us?" Mr. Henderson's hands paused for a fraction of a second. "We don't really talk about before. It's not relevant. What matters is now. The harmony." He looked up then, and his smile was back, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You'll understand. Everyone does." That evening, David mentioned it to Elena. "It was like I'd breached some protocol. Don't ask about before." "Weird, right?" Elena gazed out the kitchen window at the immaculate backyards. "Have you noticed there are no birds?" she said softly. He hadn't. But she was right. The trees were lush, the gardens blooming, but there was no birdsong. No squirrels chasing each other. The only life seemed to be the manicured plants and the occasional, silently gliding cat. Then there were the chimes. At exactly 9 p.m., a soft, melodic chime echoed through the neighborhood. It wasn't loud, but it was pervasive, coming from no discernible source. As it sounded, David watched from an upstairs window. Up and down the street, like a synchronized ballet, curtains and blinds were drawn. Lights in living rooms dimmed. The street, so alive with porch lights moments before, fell into a uniform, subdued gloom. It was a collective turning inward. A ritual. "It's probably just some neighborhood watch thing," David said, trying to dismiss the chill on his skin. "A lights out signal. Promoting energy savings. Or privacy," Elena whispered. Days settled into a pattern of eerie pleasantry. The children adapted quickly. Sam made a friend, a boy named Theo who knew all the best climbing trees. Lily was invited to a doll tea party. The parents of these children were, of course, delightful. Yet Elena noticed things. The children's play was quiet. Organized. There were no loud squabbles, no tears. It was as if they too had absorbed the doctrine of harmony. The pressure to conform was subtle but constant. David attended a block barbecue. Conversations flowed smoothly around sports, gardening, the excellent local bakery. When he tentatively asked about the previous owners of his house, a mild, polite silence fell. The Wilkinsons were lovely people, Mrs. Garcia said finally, her smile tight. They decided to move on. To travel. We were happy for them. The subject was closed. The community's heart seemed to be the annual Harmony Day festival, scheduled for the coming weekend. Flyers depicted smiling faces, a parade, a potluck. A celebration of our shared present, the text read. David found the wording odd. Not shared history. Shared present. The breaking point, or perhaps the true welcome, came 3 nights before the festival. A soft thud on the front door after chime time. David opened it to find an empty porch. But on the doormat lay a book. It was a handsome, leather-bound ledger. Embossed on the cover in gold were the words, Prestige Lane Community Ledger. For the new Millers. He brought it inside. The pages were thick, high-quality paper. The first few pages contained handwritten notes. Recipes for the peach pie and the potato salad served at the barbecue. A list of approved service providers. A calendar of neighborhood events for the next year. Then, the entries began. They were dated, but the dates were all within the last 5 years. Each entry was a brief, positive note. July 12th, helped the Garcias with their sprinkler system. A pleasant afternoon. The harmony is maintained. September 3rd, welcomed the Hendersons' new grandchild. A joyful addition to our street. The harmony grows. April 18th, collective tree planting on the South Verge. A commitment to our shared future. The harmony is rooted. The entries were written in different hands, but the tone was identical. Clinical in its positivity. Devoid of any real emotion, any conflict, any individuality. It was a record of perfection. A scripture of blandness. David flipped towards the end. The last written entry was dated 2 weeks prior. June 5th, prepared welcome package for the new family at number 14. We look forward to their integration. The harmony awaits renewal. The page after that was blank. Then he saw it. On the very next page, faint, as if imprinted from a previous page, were ghostly lines of cursive. He held it to the light. It was an older entry, written in a frantic, desperate hand that had been deliberately erased. He could only make out fragments. Cannot sleep, the dreams are the same, the chimes mean. Tried to speak to the Hendersons about the garden shed, they just smiled, it's in the shed. The price is too high, I want to remember, I want. The last ghostly line sent a cold spear through him. The update is coming. God help us all. The ledger fell from his hands. Outside, the neighborhood of Prestige Lane slept its perfect, silent sleep. The dream house felt like a beautifully furnished cage. The welcome basket had been a bait. The friendly faces were wardens. And they, the Millers, were not just new residents. According to the ledger, they were here for an integration. A renewal of something called the harmony. Something was very wrong in this paradise. And the most terrifying part was not the mystery. It was the dawning realization that every single person on this street, every smiling neighbor, knew exactly what was wrong. And they had all agreed, unanimously, to never, ever speak of it again. David looked at the blank page waiting for his first entry. The harmony awaited renewal. He understood now. They were expected to write their own names into this book of forgetting. Their fresh start was meant to be an amnesia. This concludes part 1 of the Harmony update. The door to Prestige Lane has closed behind them. And the key has just been thrown away.